Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So, AmyNicole, thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I'm looking forward to getting into your story of helping people debt free, everything that's going on in your world. So, thank you for taking a minute out.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. So, let's begin our journey with this. I always start with this question, but it's a big deal. 6 years ago, the pandemic changed our world, changed our lives. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you do things today?
Ah,
Uh,
how did I get through that? So let me just preface with I was an HR manager at a skilled nursing home facility.
Okay.
Luckily, we did not get COVID until the following year in 2021. However, it was all hands on deck. I think from the time we found out until about October, I was working probably a good 7, 8, 10 days constantly. So yeah, it was eye-opening to say the least.
Yeah.
And now kind of like looking back, because for me, I was trying to find something different. It's like this is too stressful. We had a revolving door in North Carolina. The governor at that time was saying, if you want to be a CNA, just take a little course and show it to your to the person, to the company you want to work with. Revolving door. It's like we would onboard them. Next thing I know, they ain't show up for work. They ain't coming back. And I was like, I'm tired of that. So kind of fast forward, kind of got out of HR, back into HR, and it's like, you know what? I need something that I can work from home, that I can kind of control and protect my space.
Yeah.
So currently, that's what I'm doing. I'm still in HR, but I'm protecting my space and my peace.
So let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis. If we were to synthesize everything you do for a 12-year-old brain, you're at career day, you're in the classroom, and a kid in the room wants to know what you do for a living. How do you explain what you do?
Ooh, well, let me explain it from where what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I pretty much decode patterns that are keeping people stuck. Um, and that's the 12-year-old version of it. But I use a tool called Human Design that is a blueprint, energetic blueprint of how we are made up. It shows our potential, and it also has those little gems in it where it kind of shows like patterns.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm a pattern decoder.
So before we get to how you got to this point, what did you want to be when you were that age? When you were 12 or 13,
Oh my
do you know what
gosh.
your dream gig was?
Oh yes. I wanted to be a retail store owner.
Okay.
I wanted to travel to Paris to go to the market, to the fashion world. Okay, yeah, I majored in fashion merchandising, so it's like, yeah, I wanted to be a retail store owner, own my own retail store.
So did you get into retail? Did you work up the chain?
Um, I got as far as an assistant manager of
Okay.
retail, and yeah, that
No, wasn't going to happen. So take me back. Where were you born and raised? Are you originally from the Carolinas?
originally from the Carolinas.
Okay. So
Yes.
what were these seeds that were planted into you that had these dreams of owning and traveling and eventually getting into HR and now helping people fix their issues? How did this happen?
Okay, so we'll start with my grandfather.
Uh,
Uh, rest his soul. He actually was an entrepreneur. Now that I'm talking out loud, it's like I'm pretty much following him. He worked, and after he got off work, he had a janitorial service. So he had this little side hustle. So that's where the entrepreneurial part came about. Fashion, I guess I can kind of get it from my mother when she was younger. She majored in home economics, as they called it back then.
yeah.
Used to make some clothes for me or whatever. I knew I didn't want to do sewing because that was too tedious. I wanted to do something else like buying, owning the store, wanting to be the owner or what have you. Uh, Paris, in high school, I took French. like I think French 1 and French 2. When I got to college, I was like, oh, this is too hard.
Yeah.
College French was totally different from high school French, but I knew, Paris is like the fashion capital
Yeah.
of the world, so that's why Paris. HR, I fell into it, literally fell into it. Was working part-time as a customer service rep at the city of Norfolk in the public works, one of the public works divisions. And not even 2 weeks in, my supervisor was like, hey, I want you to sit with the payroll person. She's going to go out, have surgery. So she's going to teach you payroll. I was like, okay. Well, that person never came back because she ended up retiring.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like, okay, do I train someone to be full-time or should I just apply for it myself?
Yeah.
And of course, I did the latter. And about 20 years later, um, how I got into pretty much human design and educating people on that, I had my own pattern sucking epiphany, we'll just say.
Yeah.
Um, I had lost my job. So after COVID, I switched careers, got out of, as I mentioned earlier, got out of HR and went into a whole different industry. 2.5 months in, 21 of us got laid off.
Wow.
So that's kind of what it was like, wow, I've never been on this end. So fast forward, got back into HR. Of course, when you lose a job, things fall behind. So I had some things fall behind, had to file bankruptcy for the third time in my life. And all that crumbling, and it's like trying to find what I want to do because I didn't want to work for anyone else.
Uh-huh.
I hired a life coach, and she's the one that kind of introduced me to human design. I
Yeah.
knew a little bit about it, but she kind of put it in perspective where the light bulb went off. It was like, there's nothing wrong with me. So that's why I go from wanting to own a retail store, wedding consultant, MLMs, real estate investing, blah, 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 to because I do what lights me up in the moment.
Yeah.
It's how I'm designed. And then when I delved into it a little bit more, it's like, oh, so that's why I probably am having the three bankruptcies
Yeah.
because I have to go through three stages. Not to say it was bankruptcy, but bankruptcy is why I'm here because I'm here to be a role model. But in order for me to be a role model, I had to go through the butterfly stages, as I call it,
Yes.
to get to where I am.
So, speaking of being a role model, who's been that consistent inspirational force that's allowed you to navigate to this place where you know what you need to be doing and you've gotten to this place where you're helping people get to a better place?
Wow. It's a lot of different people played a part. Of course, like I said, I spoke about my grandfather, his knowledge in being an entrepreneur and some real estate knowledge as well, to like my mom, my grandmother, who's definitely the the force. She'll be 100, Lord willing, next month, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then just based off of what I've been through, like to this point, it's like when I look back, it's like all that stuff I've been through, I thought was failure, was nothing but data. So I can say that I kind of see myself as that role model because it's up to me to pick myself up
Yeah.
to move forward. And I try not to wallow, as I tell people, wallow in it in the moment, but pull up the big girl draws and keep it moving. So,
So this human design system is quite intuitive, quite modern, quite it's amazing. How did you come up with this? And how has like what is it that's been proven that makes it so effective?
so it's based on a few criteria that we cannot manipulate. Date of birth, the time we're born, and where we're born.
Wow. Okay.
That's it. Unlike like Myers-Briggs or the disc, it those involve your brain where you're like, oh, is that the right answer? Oh, human design is based on those three characteristics that we have no control over.
Interesting. And then how does that get stretched out further to kind of further diagnose and come up with yardsticks to help us?
Well, depending on like, because of course there are a lot of, we'll just say human design gurus out there, but the main person who came up with all of this, Ra Uru, who's no longer living, he put together like there's like numbers, gates, centers. So it's based off the I Ching. I think that's what Chinese I Ching.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not, I would never say I'm an expert at it because I'm still learning myself. It's like I'm going to school for the rest of my life on it. But it is based off of the I Ching. You have the centers, 9 centers. Like I said, each center has some gates, and each number in those gates represents something.
It's almost like a DNA sequence, right? I mean, just almost an inescapable biological map that we all fall into and we have no control over it.
Absolutely. And it does show like the highs and the lows
Yeah.
of it, the polar opposites, as they say. So yeah, it shows your potential. And like I said, when I used it, when I realized mine, it was like I was wondering why everybody gets diarrhea of the mouth when they come to me. When I was working at the city of Norfolk, I would have this one supervisor on a daily basis would come into my office, sit down, and just talk to the point where my supervisor was like, "What's going on with y'all?" I'm like, "For real? You know how I roll, and I don't roll like that." So but people come to me and they just start talking.
Yeah.
That's because one of my gates, I'm a listener.
Yeah.
It's defined. So that's why I was like, oh, now I see. So yeah, it has some intricate details about how we're wired and what our potentials are.
So how did you run into this? What was the moment? What was the epiphany? So you run into this system and then now you're using it for others. How did it begin and how did you decide this would be your passion?
Um, well, it was the very beginning, I had subscribed to this course on manifestation, and the person brought in someone that talked about human design. And when you're at that place where you're just searching for something, it's like I was searching for something, and then there it was. So I started, kind of dabbling, like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting." But of course, when I got a report, if I wanted it explained to me, of course, I had to pay for her time. I'm like, yeah, no. So fast forward, researching online. Then that's when I hired the life coach. I was one. I think I had already filed the third bankruptcy. I was having a huge comparison issue because at the time I thought real estate investing was my passion because I had been known as the real estate investment lady. I had 4 doors or a duplex and 2 single family homes. They went with the second bankruptcy. So, but what I found myself doing was forcing it, wasting money on systems and everything. And then the turning point or the climax of that story, the guy that I was following, we both took the same course from the same guru in 2014. And here I am following him, knowing I knew the same thing, but paying him money because he was a multimillionaire. And guess what? I wasn't. So it's like, okay, I want to be in his ecosystem. And then when I realized, okay, you're teaching me the same thing I learned back then. And to me, I was just forcing it. So I'm telling my life coach this. And then, like I said, she mentioned human design. She ran my chart and she was like, well, as your type, y- you're not, you're meant to go where you're passionate. And it sounds like real estate investing is not passionate anymore. And I was like, it's not. And then that's kind of when it clicked. And it was like, wow, fast forward, I'm still working a job. And it's like, who else is like me looking up at the ceiling on Monday morning, like, damn, I gotta do this. Okay, oops. I gotta do this all over again. I gotta go to work, listen to people complain, do payroll on a weekly basis. It's like, I don't, it's like, okay. And like I said, everything just started clicking for me. And then it was like, okay, if if I'm feeling like this, I'm pretty sure there's other people that feel like this. And so I started doing more deep diving, and I found someone that I related to. She's about my same age. She rewrote the human design language to fit female for females and make it make sense. And it's like, okay. And at first it was like, oh, I'm just going to do high level. Then I found myself in the coaching program, and I'm like, okay. So that's the story. I mean, I want to help people who felt like I did. Hamster wheel, feel like something's wrong with them because they're comparing themselves with somebody. They don't know what's wrong. And that's what I'm here to do, to interrupt that pattern.
Absolutely. So I was just thinking, something just registered, and I'm thinking, so I looked up Oprah Winfrey. She was born on January 29th, 1954, in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So that right there, just with that one person, that's enough of a determinant to figure out where she was going to head.
If and the time, because you got to have.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
that's the other
sometimes,
thing.
yeah,
Okay.
because a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't know what time, or I can't find my birth certificate. Well, they say, there's a couple of ways, but some people say, do a morning, afternoon, and evening, and then read those three to see which one resonates most with you, like 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m.
Okay.
So
Okay. That makes sense. So let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now that you find inspirational, that knows what they're doing, where they want to go, that might help you on your journey, who would you love to meet and talk to?
yeah, well, I think the one person that you mentioned, Oprah Winfrey,
Okay.
just, like what made her start her own TV show, like what were the obstacles, especially being, Black female. How did you sustain it? And in particular, what was that moment where you went from employee to doing your own?
Yeah. So let me ask you this. When that alarm clock goes off in the morning, what is that motivation for you to do this work, to change lives, to take care of your own soul? What is that collective energy for you every day?
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Like I said, even though I do still have a W-2, I am working from home, and I feel like it affords me the opportunity to, like, right now I'm on the clock, but it affords me the opportunity to speak, to share my truth, to work with clients if I need to. Yeah, I feel like it's that stepping stone to that next level of getting off the clock. But it's peaceful. And well, I would say a year ago, last year, well, let's just say December of 2024, I wasn't feeling like that.
Yeah.
I've been on this job for a little over a year, and I wasn't even looking. So to me, that's like someone was listening to say, hey, go ahead and make that jump.
Yeah.
Because it was to the point where it was too good to be true. And I was like, well, let me look this company up to make sure I'm not leaving something comfortable. But it was true. And even though it is a job, I'm loving my life. I'm at peace. And hopefully later I will have the option to leave when I so choose.
So let's say you had a dream tonight, ran to that young version of you that wanted to own that retail store, wanted to go to Paris, and you had a big coffee table book in your hands, and it was the life you've lived so far, and you handed it over and said, "This is the life you've had." Would that young version of you believe that your life has orchestrated and become what it is?
Hmm. That person would probably be like, say what? She probably would get scared. You did all that? Oh my gosh, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Go through all that you've been through. So
Yeah.
that young, yeah.
No. Would you give any advice?
The advice I would give is trust the process
Yeah.
and follow your instinct. If you have that nudge, follow it.
So, of everything that you've done, accomplished, evolved to, overcome, what are you the proudest of? What rises to the top?
Mm. Actually, in this current moment, following my I'm not even going to say dream, following my instincts of speaking. I've been wanting to speak all for a long time, but this time sharing my truth without feeling embarrassed. And I think that because let me say this. So last week I did a live summit on my topic, uh, three bankruptcies with zero regrets, right? That was the best talk I've given. And I just started like back in July, guesting on podcasts, doing live summits.
Yeah.
And it's like that right there gave me this, oh, I think I'm in my element now.
Yeah. So let
So
me ask you this, AmyNicole. Everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, everyone you work with, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm an unstoppable person at this present time in my life.
Right on. So if anybody wants to get into the fix yourself, flaunt it mindset, where do they go? Where do they questions, hiring, any of the good business? Where's the best place?
Well, best place is the website, actually, is fixyourselfandflauntit.com. Um, and there you can actually get your what I call the interruption report. And it comes with a contemplation bot. Say that 5 times, right? So yes, and then that's how they can get in my ecosystem and reach out.
Sounds wonderful. I will put all of this in the show notes. What a great story. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking a minute out. Best of luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe, for having me. I
You bet.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.